Well, Congressman Jim Cooper is fed up with the ways of Washington, saying today, quote, neither party is willing to compromise for the good of the nation. Both political parties pander to the base and blame each other for policy failures. Meanwhile, the nation suffers. Joining me now with his plan to actually fix the problem is Congressman Jim Cooper himself. Congressman, or as some call you, Mr. Fiscal Responsibility, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charles. Good to be with you. Okay,
you're known as a fiscal hawk, someone who believes in a balanced budget, and you're trying to get the other folks down in Washington to sort of get on this same bandwagon. How's it going?
Well, we still have a lot more folks to persuade, and I hope that Fox viewers will help us do that. We have several dozen co-sponsors in the House, bipartisan, but we need a lot more to get this bill moving. In a normal political year, a bill like this wouldn't have a chance, but I think we can pass it this year.
Now, today you spoke to the Senate, but it was the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee. Is it just that you'll go to any committee out there just to try to spread the word? Are you like the Johnny Appleseed? You don't care where it is?
Well, I'll go most anywhere, but that committee in the Senate actually has jurisdiction over this. They're in charge of government reform. And in most years, Congress is not interested in reform. But this year, I think folks who are up on the ballot will be either looking at reform or defeat.
Let's talk a little bit about your proposal. From what I understand, it's pretty simple. If Congress, which doesn't pass a budget, then you guys simply do not get paid. And by the way, if you ever do pass a budget, you've missed. It's not retroactive. You lose it forever.
Exactly right. What we're trying to do here is align the interests of every congressman and senator to get their work done on time. Nothing is more fundamental than passing a budget and the appropriations bills. And Congress has been so slack and so lazy in getting this done over many past years. It's really been embarrassing. But now it's critical because after we lost our credit rating last year, after S&P downgraded us, it really is a matter of national security. So we've got to make sure that Congress works together, and the best way to do that is to align interests.
Congressman, there's a difference, obviously, between budget and spending. How does Washington, D.C. continue to spend so much money, trillions of dollars, money they don't even have, without a budget for 3 years?
Well, I'm afraid that's been true over decades. It's just that the public hasn't noticed. Most election years, we've had trouble passing a budget, regardless of who's been running Congress or the White House. So this is kind of the dirty little secret that's now come out in the open. But it's time to fix it because we don't have the cushion. We don't have the margin of error we used to have in the past. When our bonds have already been downgraded, we need to make sure they don't go down again.
You are a Democrat, but I think a lot of people refer to you as a blue dog Democrat. Where does the president stand on this? What's his responsibility for making this happen?
Well, this is really a job for Congress to clean up its own act. Neither the president nor the Supreme Court can fix what's wrong in Congress. We have to do it ourselves, or I think the voters will do it for us. I'm hoping Congress will go ahead and take action, do the appropriate thing, and resolve to do better in the future. And if we don't, well, then the voters should take action.
You're part of a group now. You guys have actually put together a group, a bipartisan group, I think, called the No Label Group, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats. How much sway does this group have, and do you see that there's more interest in participating, or are politicians going to put a finger in the air, and if the wind's not blowing hard enough, they're just going to blink and skip this one?
I think No Labels is a very interesting group, and I hope people will look them up on the web, nolabels.com, because it's an interesting group. It just wants good government. They've proposed a list of 12 reforms of Congress. These are things that would really help Congress clean up its act. They're long overdue. And No Labels is a way of approaching these issues. It's not partisan. It's not going to get us involved in gridlock. Democrats aren't fighting Republicans and vice versa. So I think it's a very interesting way to reform Congress when it's in critical need of reform.
Well, sir, I agree with you. I hope the viewers really are adamant. They go and talk. I mean, this is an affront. This is an atrocity. And you're right. No one should get paid if they're not doing their job. And this is certainly one of the first more important jobs of Congress. Congressman Jim Cooper, thanks a lot, and we appreciate the work you're doing.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
In today's